Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, dogs, and cats, and welcome back to Calm Down Level Up. I just want to say sorry for the lack of videos here recently. I've been working on a lot of homework recently, and I've been pretty tired. So, if this episode I seem a little bit, off or something, I don't know if I'll seem like that, but if I do, just know I probably got like 3 hours of sleep last night, so that's where I'm at right now, and I really want to get out a video for you guys. So, but by the way, thank you for all the support for the feminist series. Shit, we got some, Castle was just captured, or however you say that one. Castle. Maybe it's like, or just castle. No idea. No idea whatsoever. Welcome back, guys, to, 100 World Tension Shingamabob. Shit, there it goes. If you remember last time, the French, I believe that was last episode, the French and the Italians and all these little guys in here, the whole, European Federation Alliance, pushed up past the Middle Eastern Coalition's line, broke their line, and pushed up into Germany, and have captured a lot of West Germany, and they are working on it. And they're going farther too. Look, or these are those guys. These aren't Europeans. These are just these guys. But they just captured a city here. They pushed and took that. So they're being a little bit aggressive here. They still need to capture Cologne and this one right here, and Essen. A lot of stuff here that they still need to capture. But they're getting pretty close to Poland. It's got to be said. And Poland is one of the major countries in the Middle Eastern Coalition that need to actually capitulate in order for the European Federation to win. And if they take out Poland, they can also push down here, and they're very close to Turkey. But actually, I just realized, there's not actually a direct connection with Turkey and the rest, so they're gonna have to actually either take out Turkey by naval invasions or hope that the Syrian Union of Nations wins. So I actually saw there was a lot of support for the Syrian Union of Nations in the comments too, which is pretty cool. I think that they actually, even though they're Syrian or whatever, I think they're a pretty cool faction in the sense that they're the underdog, and they were, the world's most powerful faction at one point. They had like this whole stronghold here. And then they were obliterated in a really shitty war. Just the Middle Eastern Coalition took all the capitals they needed within like a couple months, and the war just ended. So that was a very fast war. Also, if you guys remember, the Russian state is totally collapsing here, folks. By the Ukraine, Finland and Sweden are both being liberated. The Soviet Union is pushing in from the east, reclaiming lands. This is not going to be good, though, for the Soviet Union, because look at the Soviet Union, right? Actually, no, that is not their land. This is their land up here. What are the troops like? Not too many. The only reason they're pushing forward is because the Russian state can't defend itself. But the Ukraine, which is at war with them, they're at war, remember. All this land right here, this is all occupied by the Ukraine from the Soviet Union. So the Ukraine doesn't actually own all this stuff. This is just occupied from the Soviet Union. So when the Soviet Union gets a border with Ukraine, look at this Ukrainian army. Holy shit. The Ukrainian army is going to absolutely obliterate the Soviet Union. So they need to be careful. Of these three former Russian countries, I guess you could call the Ukraine that, just because it was a former Russian republic, and then the Russian state and Soviet Union are both obviously. Of these three that are fighting, probably the Ukraine might win. That's insane, right? The Ukraine's probably going to win the Russian Civil War, which is crazy. This is one of the first wars. I think they set up this war before the game even started, so that is one of the oldest wars in the whole thing. It's been going on for a long time. Look how Sweden is being liberated right now. It's crazy. They're going all the way up. All of Sweden is pretty much liberated at this point. Well, except for like northwest, and the majority of Finland has been liberated as well, which is crazy. And they've taken St. Petersburg now too, which is not good for the Russian state. The Ukraine, for some reason, hasn't really been taking seriously the Moscow thing, but they could totally walk into Moscow right now if they wanted to. But they're the AI and they're stupid, so they're not going to do it, I don't think, at least for a little while. So the capital is this up here, which is actually worth 20 VPs. I think only because they had to move the capital up there. I don't think that spot's actually worth 20 VPs. That'd be a lot for, a northern tile without even a city on it, as you can see here. This over here, though, for the Syrian Union of Nations, not looking too good. The Middle Eastern Coalition has past Libyan lines in Cairo, pushed through Egypt, pretty much captured the entire country of Egypt, and is pushing towards Tripoli, which is the capital of Libya. And once Libya is out of the picture, it won't be long before all the rest of these guys like Eritrea, Uganda, those are both big players in the Syrian Union nations. Both, when they fall, the Syrian Union nations is pretty much going to be done, because all they're going to have left is the Russian state, which is getting its ass kicked up here. Countries being liberated out of it. You know, the Asian Entente is a thing again, I guess, kind of, because it's making itself, but it's not really a thing. It's not one of the major factions at all. The only other things that it'll have are, you know, is this Uzbekistan? Yeah, Uzbekistan and Pakistan. And Pakistan's a pretty formidable fighting force right now, mostly because of its volunteers. It's been holding this line. It got pushed all the way back, but, you know, it's still holding foreign territory. So, as you can see, the original border was, it was right here. This was the original border, I think. Yeah, that seems about right. That was the original border. It's still holding territory past the original border, which is crazy. It hasn't been fully repelled yet. Oh shit, look at this. I just missed that. So Libya capitulated and Sudan capitulated. Zambia and Sudan. Holy shit. Okay, so Zambia now controls Sudan. Zambia. Right here, folks. This little landlocked country down there now controls Sudan. So now we're going to see Eritrea have to defend itself here. Eritrea is going to be attacked. Eritrea might be the new Libya. I don't know. It's actually capturing quite a lot of the stuff back. And also Uganda. Uganda is going to be really important for the Syrian Union down here. They have an army. So the Eritreans, and I don't see why the Eritreans and the Ugandans didn't help the Libyans while they were just being destroyed. Turkey has, looks like Turkey has northern, oh shit. Turkey has northern Libya, and the rest of Libya was given to the Egyptian Republic. Oh, fighting over here in Europe. There's some fighting going on, folks. We got Europeans moving into the Czech Republic. There are battles taking place everywhere. Okay, this guy's, they're trying to repel him. This guy, I think, no, he didn't get surrounded. There's a little connector there, but he's leaving, so... Oh shit, and here we go. Actually, it looks like the Middle Eastern Coalition recaptured Castle right here. So the front is staying here. Oh yeah, actually, look at this. They're actually assaulting like crazy. So they're assaulting the Europeans. They're trying to get him out of Germany. If they can capture Frankfurt back, that's not good for the European Federation. Definitely not. Jace. But it's not surprising that they're actually making a little bit of a comeback right now, because it's seeming like the only people that are fighting up here for the Europeans are Basque County. Or Basque Country, sorry, not Basque County. Basque Country is the only one that's fighting up here, has all its forces. I guess there's some Catalonians too. But where are all the French? Where are all the Italians? Where are they fighting at? Oh, there's a bunch of Italians here. Also, you guys pointed out to me that that this tile actually doesn't have a naval port. That's why Bosnia can't help, even though they have a big-ass army. They do have a lot of volunteers there, though. After Libya has fallen, the resistance is here. Uganda and Eritrea fighting the Axis. Well, not really the Axis. The Middle Eastern Coalition. It's kind of like an Axis at this point. Wouldn't you guys say? I don't know. They're trying to capture the capital of Zimbabwe and Sudan to try to kill them off, I think. Which is right here, which would capitulate that territory, which would be good for them, I think. Or I don't even know if that would really capitulate them, or if that would just... I don't know if they would... I don't really actually know if they would lose anything from losing Zimbabwe and Sudan. Probably not, actually. Their armies are all still here, so they'll just recapture everything afterwards. You know, realistically, I think it would probably be a good idea if the African Islamic Alliance merged with the Syrian Union of Nations, but we both know that that is not a real thing in the game. But that'd be really cool if two factions could merge, if there was a way to do that. Like two leaders of two factions could merge, because that would give a huge border on Palestine for Western Uganda to attack. Western Ugandan Raj, I should say, to attack Palestine. Palestinian Persia, I should say. Jesus, there's so many different names now. It's all changed. And that would also give Somaliland, with their little army here, a chance to help out, even though that, you know, the Islamic African Alliance and the Syrian Union of Nations were at one time great enemies and fought a great war. They, you know, at this point, there's a bigger threat. There's a shared enemy that they could probably team up against. They could probably be like the African Union of Nations, or the Syrian African Islamic Alliance of Nations. Something crazy like that. I'm sure they could figure it out. So yep, just as I thought, Frankfurt was recaptured by the Middle Eastern Coalition. Damn, that's not good. And looks like 2 of their divisions, the European divisions, have gotten encircled. One's about to die. The Basque country one is about to die, and the Catalonian one is just sitting there. It's a tank. It's hoping it doesn't get killed. Is it driving over here? Can it even do that? So it looks like the European offensive was kind of all for naught. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna reinforce this. They were focusing it like crazy for a long time, and they had a huge army here. They had a ton of French troops. They had a ton of Italian troops here, but then they stopped focusing it and just left Basque and Catalonia and the Democratic Republic of Congo to do it, and of course they failed. And as you can see here, Austria is actually pushing up into southern Germany as well, giving them 2 fronts, which is not good for the Europeans. Ugandan and Eritrean forces fighting side by side, trying to repel this really, really massive Middle Eastern Coalition army. If the Middle Eastern Coalition army actually does smash through Eritrea and Uganda, I think the Syrian Union is probably going to be done, unless somehow, you know, they get distracted in these other fronts and Pakistan just burrows through and takes out a bunch of these major countries. I don't think Syrian Union is going to be able to make a comeback. They were always kind of the underdog. They were always kind of the smaller faction that doesn't have very much power. Sorry, I just burped there for a sec. Jeez. But, you know, the only way they are going to capitulate, though, is if this guy capitulates, Equatorial Guinea. If Equatorial Guinea capitulates, then they will actually lose for real. But if they lose all this power right here, which, I mean, isn't actually that much power if you think about it, but it's a lot of the power they have. And then, of course, Pakistan as well. I think if Pakistan goes and it's just left with these guys, I think these guys are pretty much fucked at that point. But remember, too, the Syrian Union of Nations and the European Federation are not at war. So, you know, this is hard for Middle Eastern Coalition to fight 2 factions at once. But, you know, they are doing it, so it's kind of, you got to give them props for, you know, doing it as good as they have. Like, they've been fighting 2 factions, 2 very aggressive factions that want to kill them, want to take them out, and they've done it really good. Look at Egypt now. Egypt is liberated and back and big, baby. I bet you they're making a ton of divisions for the Middle Eastern Coalition right now. Israel controls this, but I don't see why they wouldn't give it back to Egypt, because they're in the same faction at this point, right? They're in the same faction, so why wouldn't you give it back, Israel? I don't think that belongs to you. Oh, I see. So Egypt has a core in it, but it's actually owned by Israel. So in a previous peace deal, it must have been given to Israel at some point. Checking back up on Russia, Portugal has made a large landing here in Latvia and taking out lots of land. Also, I think this is England. England has made a landing here in Estonia. They're capturing land. The Middle Eastern Coalition is pouring past St. Petersburg right now. This is where a lot of the army is. Jeez. There's so many Turks here. There's so many Swedes here. The Swedish army is back. Oh, this poor little Russian state tank is gonna get attacked. Is gonna get encircled. Look at him. He didn't know what hit him. Oh, and look at this, Sweden. Oh, okay. Never mind. That was not a very major landing. Sweden landed like 1 guy. Oh shit! Look, there's another missile. So just. Is that the same thing that we saw before? They're just like going over here to hang out. Yeah. There's just missiles being held in these areas just cause they want to hold some missiles over there. Middle Eastern Coalition on the assault. Holy shit. They are really trying to kick them back out of Germany. They're doing a good job too. I think they probably learned from getting their ass kicked up to, you know, Frankfurt and Cologne up here. They probably learned a lot from that and are going to try to not let that happen again. They're probably going to try and kill France again, and I'm sure that where they got held last time was the line here in Italy, and I'm sure that they're going to try a little bit harder to get into Italy next time, because Italy was the only reason that the European Federation didn't really capitulate, or in Europe at least, because you got to remember, America is in the European Federation, but it's not sending as many troops as it should be to other fronts. They did pretty much fully repulse these guys out of here. Yeah, these guys are gone, so totally gone. What America should be doing is focusing Brazil and killing off Brazil, and then after Brazil going after Europe and helping the Europeans hold land. Maybe doing a landing in Turkey to kill off Turkey, and fight in the Middle East, capture the Middle East back, help Western Ugandan Raj a little bit, even though they're in a different faction. Help Eritrea and Uganda. They could probably send volunteers to Eritrea and Uganda. So the game says that in the Turkish-Greek War, which is the war of the Middle Eastern Coalition versus the European Federation, it says that the war is going 20% in favor of the defenders, but I don't know if that's really true, because a lot of European Federation countries have been killed off. Like, oh look, yeah, Colombia, Ecuador were two, Macedonia, Greece, that's one of the big ones, because it's the Turkish-Greek War. India and Germany, which was trying to be brought back, but how many countries of the Middle Eastern Coalition have been killed off? Bangladeshi Upper Volta, which was a colony right here that Ireland controls now. Bangladesh was killed off. Djibouti and Ghana. Palestinian Persia is fighting. South Sudan, Zambia, and Sudan on its way. Sweden is recovering. Confederate States. I forgot Confederate States was in the Middle Eastern Coalition. That's crazy. That is not the faction you would think they would join. Let's just come over here for a minute to admire the armies in the Americas. Even though they're not really helping out the war in Europe, America's army is huge. But not only America's. Florida's army is pretty big too for just Florida. Look at how big Florida has stockpiled. As well as Texas. Texas has a huge army. I think Mexico has a huge army as well, but it's piled all its troops on the American border. Over here in California, California has quite the army as well, I think. Actually, no. Well, they had a big army before, but I saw that they were sending troops out to support other countries, so I think that most of their armies are actually out doing other things in the world. And Cascadian Republic right here is actually doesn't have that great of an army, but mostly America, Texas, and Florida. All the American states, except for, Cascadia and California. Pretty big armies here. It's going to be really hard, if not impossible, for the Middle Eastern Coalition to attack the U.S., I think, in my opinion. I don't know. Probably. That's just my my estimate here. Well, shit, guys. The Russian state is in utter chaos right now. Turkey has quite a big little bit of land here. Portugal actually was one of the main attackers in this war. I think Portugal is in the Middle Eastern Coalition. Yes, they are. I forgot about that one. But yeah, they are one of the members, and they led one of the attacks into the Russian state, actually. So they've landed here. The Russian state doesn't, they still have an army, though, so don't discredit their army. They still have an army. It's just overextended and fighting everywhere right now. Oh, and look, the first clash between, or I don't know, this is actually a clash between Russian state and Soviet Union, I think. But look, the Ukraine and the Soviet Union now have a border for the first time. So they will start fighting each other fairly soon, I think. And we'll probably see in what I think will probably be the Ukraine push into the Soviet Union. It is actually kind of surprising how long the Eritreans and the Ugandans are surviving. They are working together quite well, and they are kind of a formidable fighting force. They're actually not only defending their land down here, but they are pushing up and attacking the Middle Eastern Coalition quite a bit. So that is cool to see. That is cool to see that the Syrian Union, even though they lost Libya and they lost a lot of valuable Egyptian land for producing units, they are still kicking. And actually, let's check over here. I've looked over here a little bit. It looks like the Pakistanis are actually pushing in further, which is not good for Middle Eastern Coalition. It looks like Pakistan is just getting Actually, no, they're not taking it. They could walk in there, but I was about to say it looks like Pakistan is just taking every little chance to walk into an unguarded province, but it's obviously not the case here because there's an unguarded province there. Well, not anymore. There's a guy that's about to walk in. So has the Ukraine taken Moscow yet? Nope. They're still just walking around Moscow. They're like, I don't know if we want to go in there yet, but I'm pretty sure if they take Moscow, they will surrender. The Russians will surrender. Russian-Finnish war. I'm fairly certain that it'll happen. Russian state needs to capitulate, and Equatorial Guinea needs to capitulate. Oh, Russian state's actually one of the large countries in this. So Russian state also needs to capitulate. There's 64% towards capitulation, and Equatorial Guinea is obviously 0 because it is super tiny. So, and it's not in the war at all. It's not anywhere near the border. Ukraine has plans to attack Poland. Why do you have plans to attack Poland, Ukraine? They're justifying against Romania. Okay. But yeah, they're also planning to attack... Oh, shit. This is big, actually. Ukraine's getting power hungry, guys. Ukraine's getting really power hungry. It's seeing that it's winning over here. It has a ton of divisions. It's going to attack the European Federation. Or, I mean, the Middle Eastern Coalition. What is the European Federation's lines like over here, by the way? They still have Stuttgart and Heidelberg. Do they have the big one, though? Yeah, they have Strasbourg. Okay, Strasbourg is what I was looking for. But it does look like the Middle Eastern Coalition is holding them here and actually possibly pushing them down further and further. The Austrians, this is dangerous. The Austrians could cut them all off if they really wanted to and slowly encircle them and cut off all their supply. But I'm kind of excited actually to see Ukraine's preparing for this too. Look, they've got a ton of troops on the border. They might just roll in and capitulate Poland instantly. How insane would that be? Jeez. Because it doesn't look like there's any troops here on the Romanian border. There's some on the Hungarian border, but there's also none on the Polish border. Poland, one of the many countries that needs to die for the Middle Eastern Coalition to surrender. Ukraine is becoming more and more and more of a more important player in this war as the game goes on. They're still not in a faction, but they're definitely one of the most important key players of this whole thing going on right now. So the Soviets have crossed the Ural Mountains. Is that how you say it, by the way? Is it Urals? Urals? I'm not sure. You should let me know. They've crossed it, and they are in Western Russia now, which is probably scary for a lot of people, but they still don't have that big of an army. So, and they don't have that great of Actually, they have a lot of manpower. Damn, they have a ton of manpower. They probably don't have a lot of the infrastructure and stuff. They've only got 57 factories for a major country, which is pretty good, but I'm sure the Ukraine has 151. Russia state is down to 36 though, which is horrible. They're actually probably going to capitulate really soon here. Look at Finland, England, all these guys are pushing in like crazy right now. Middle Eastern Coalition armies are just pouring in. That also means, guys, that when Ukraine attacks Warsaw and Romania, if there's a border here, then the Ukraine will attack them like that. So Ukraine's gonna be kind of surrounded, actually, which might not be the best for you, Ukraine. You might want to watch out, honestly. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna have to end this one here. We've been recording for a while. Thank you so much for watching. I know this is left off in a little cliffhanger. I'll try to put this next episode out tomorrow, though, because I know this is probably freaking you guys out because you guys are really into the series. And again, guys, thank you for being super into the series. There's justification of war goals against us or allies. Ukraine is just fighting against Romania. Yep, I know. I know. How long does it take, actually? 48 out of 125 days. So, fairly soon. So it's not going to be immediately next episode, but it'll be semi-soon. Why don't you just take Moscow? Come on, jeez. But you guys, thank you guys so much for watching and all the support on my series and the channel in general. If you like this, make sure to go leave a like and a favorite and subscribe if you are new. And make sure to check out the Discord link in the description if you want to hang out with me and other subscribers and stuff. I hang out in the Discord quite a lot. Not really this week though, because I've been so tired and stuff. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.